The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Hello and welcome into week one of the Mike Clowney Show. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, alongside the Eagles head man Mike Clowney, as Carson-Newman opens up the 2023 season with a resounding, defensively dominant 35-3 win over the Virginia-Lynchburg Dragons. Mike Clowney, obviously some first game jitters here and there, but largely a consistent offensive performance, but goodness gracious, an overwhelmingly strong defensive performance. What did you see from your team that was pleasing week one? What did you see from your team that you look to correct week one?
I think, starting with the pleasing part, I thought their effort was really good. I thought they worked well together. I think that's one thing that you always want to see football team do is complement one another. That's where you talked about our defensive performance, and they did a great job on defense. Got us a couple short fields that our offense was able to take advantage of. And when you're going into these games and you're starting to develop a little bit more experienced football team, you want to be able to tie those things together. So being able to watch us work and function together, I think was probably the most pleasing thing.
Third fewest yards allowed in the game in school history, just the third game in school history with fewer than 100 yards of total offense allowed. The fourth with fewer than 2 yards of play allowed. Really didn't feature a ton of tackles for loss or sacks. They're just weren't yards to be had for Virginia-Lynchburg. What do you owe the defensive success to?
I think our guys played with great effort. You watch the film and you see them run to the football. The other thing they did was, played fairly well as far as an assignment deal. I think we had a couple run blitzes where guys did a good job, not really get too far upfield, trying to get that TFL, and then you'll see a couple things where, we fit things well outside from a linebacker standpoint, and then we kind of forced it down the line lateral. So overall, I thought those guys did a good job of executing the plan that our coaches had for them.
The only two plays that Virginia-Lynchburg had that really had any degree of success longer than 9 yards, they ran a little jet sweep reverse type thing where the receiver and running back collided, broken play, got 15 yards out of it, and hit a little swing pass for 12 yards. Outside of that, nothing longer than 10 yards. Does that just play into what you were talking about, or is that adjustments that, hey, this happened, it's done, not happen again?
Yeah, especially the first play when they run into each other. That was scary because, that guy, they run into each other and things kind of develop late, and he hit a crease. Major did a good job of running him and getting him on the ground to give us a chance to force him to snap the football again. And then the same thing, we lose the back. I think we're in man coverage and lose the back out of the backfield. But other than that, for the most part, guys found their gaps, hit it, and played good sound football.
Carson-Newman gets the job done on opening night, 35-3 over the Virginia-Lynchburg Dragons. We break down the first half when we come back after these messages on the Mike Clowney Show.
Sure, we've been around a while, 171 years to be exact. We know the power of a liberal arts-based Christian education and the tremendous potential of what can be found on this campus, within this community. We are adventurers, dreamers, believers, passionate and compassionate, curious and clever, driven by a common purpose towards a common goal.
I found my passion.
I found purpose.
We are Carson-Newman.
What will you find?
Back of the Mike Clowney Show as Carson-Newman collects a 35-3 throttling of Virginia-Lynchburg on opening night inside of Berktar Stadium. Adam Cavalier, the voice of the Eagles, alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Clowney. Mike, a blackout. Student section was there in full effect. Really great atmosphere. Had Bald Eagles show up with about an hour notice from the American Eagle Foundation. Really cool to see football back on the banks of Mossy Creek, and the community support was strong on Thursday night, I thought.
Yeah, it's good when you look in the stands, which I actually work hard not to do. But just from a standpoint, like, you don't want that to be a distraction from you being able to do your job. But man, like, it's just great for our kids when people come out and they support them. It means a lot to them, to be able to see the student section right behind us, and even some of our other players, being engaged and involved in that part of it. It was a really fun night. I wish we had known that the ball equals there. We tried to get him into the locker room. I bet a couple of our players didn't even notice, just because you just kind of get caught up in the moment of the game. But that's something that's unique and very special.
I think after this, we're going to go play the lottery because you have won 13 straight coin tosses now, which is just insane to me. But elected to defer, got the forced to 3 and out, get the football, and have your longest drive as a head coach in terms of plays. 15 plays, you convert on 3 third downs. Kind of alluded to it earlier about the offense, but the big plays weren't there, but you had 9 guys rush the football. Every guy that rushed the football had a 9-yard rush or longer. Nobody had a rush of 15 yards or longer. Break down that degree of offensive consistency, just punching the ball down the field play after play.
I thought our offensive line did a really good job of working and sealing and creating gaps. I thought our running backs, did a good job of running the ball hard into those gaps. When you turn the film on, a lot of credit for plays not going big, is the exact same thing that we talked about. Like, their guys actually did a really good job of running to the football. So when we did get out, there was somebody there that was hustling to try to get us on the ground. But I thought our guys did a good job. The good thing about a lot of those long runs were they were in critical situations too when we needed it to get a first down on the 3rd down.
I think you allude to something there. This was Carson-Newman's first meeting with Virginia-Lynchburg in 5 years. Played them in 2018, waxed them 63-10. It's a team that has lost now 33 straight games, but is much improved. Granted, a lot has changed since 2018, but that was a much improved team than what you saw the last time you played them. And while we didn't have heights or weights, defensively up front, that was a big. Again, don't have the heights or weights, but eye test, that crew passed it. Virginia-Lynchburg felt like they gave you a better test than what you saw 5 years ago.
They're definitely a lot better football team than they were a couple years ago. And I think a lot of testament to that is Coach Newman. Like I said, I've known Coach Newman for a while, and he's a great guy. That's where we, as teams, got together and prayed on the field at the end of the game. It's funny because every time I talk to him on the phone, he always makes it a point to pray for me and our program. So that's a relationship that's there, and I think he's working hard to try to develop, some things in those kids in his program to kind of push them down the road.
The first half, first quarter, strong. You score in your first 2. The first 2 times you touch the football. Second quarter, kind of get mired in the offensive doldrums a little bit, give up the lone scoring drive. Actually, Lynchburg, 68 yards on that drive. That was all but 7 of their total offensive output on 1 possession. What changed first quarter to second quarter where you saw that little bit of a lull?
I think that's the big thing that we talked about in halftime when you're talking about pushing the needle and going past where you were, is you can't lose focus. At the beginning of the game, it's the first game of the year, like everyone's enthusiastic, so you come out excited, and it's going to happen every game. It's like once you get into that late first quarter, beginning of the second quarter where the game's kind of settled in, like, how do you perform? Like, what is your energy level at that point in time? And that's just realizing and understanding the moment, like the game hadn't changed, the emotional level is kind of going down a little bit, which means my focus and I have to force my energy back up. And that's one of the things that we have to continue to learn to do as a football program.
Carson-Newman led it at the halftime break, 14-3 over Virginia-Lynchburg. And here are those first half highlights.
Out of the gun, fumbles the snap, bobbles, picks it up, runs straight ahead. Ja'Cory Long is there, and he slings him backward for a sack on the opening play, back to the 24-yard line. Whitson out of the gun, Ferguson to his right. Whitson takes the shotgun snap, 4-man rush, has time, throws over the middle, complete to Bryce Bevins at the 25, wiggles his way forward between the hashes, down to the 24-yard line. A gain of 13 on first down, 5 on the play clock. Whitson takes the snap, wants something quick, doesn't have it, going to sprint right. Whitson looking for the edge. He's across the 20, across the 15, dives, hurdles forward, and lands with first down yardage down at the 13. Whitson from the gun takes the snap, hands off Curtis, left side. Curtis hit at the line of scrimmage, fighting his way forward, and he's in. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Tyler Curtis, 2 hard yards off left tackle, and the Eagles score on their opening drive. In territory for the first time today on their second possession. Brooks out of the pistol, step back to pass, flag flies, jitterbugging around, rolling left, hit as he throws. It's a dead duck that is picked off. An interception by Carson-Newman. It's Jet Jones who comes away with it at the 37 and returns it in the boundary right side up to the 43-yard line. Whitson is in the gun. Curtis to his right. He'll hand off to Curtis left side, has a seam. Curtis barreling forward. He spins around. He lurches forward, and he's in. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Tyler Curtis charged up. From the gun, back to pass, sprints left, pressured, hit, dropped. A sack. Back at the 42. Brooks claps with 2 seconds on the clock. Brooks back to pass, steps up, hit, drop as his helmet comes off. Carson-Newman punctuates.
That is the end of the first half. That is the end of the first half.
Long. Those are the first half highlights as Carson-Newman led VUL 14-3 at the halftime break. Mike Clowney, a lot of guys contributed. You look at the running back, or let's not do running back. Let's go ball carriers. 9 guys touched the football, and your 2 preseason all-conference picks, TJ King and Tyree Nelson, held out with some injuries, and in their stead, you get the first glimpses of Cam Ferguson, a freshman who leads the team in rushing, and then Jaden Sullins, who also goes for more than 60 yards after sitting out a year with eligibility issues. What did you see from your backfield? A lot of guys get involved and carry the ball pretty effectively.
Yep, I think that's one thing that we talked about kind of in a lot of our preseason talks, having competitive depth, and that's where we saw that a little bit in the running back room last year. And then to just be able to add those 2 guys into the mix, it just kind of makes you even better, for Cam to come out, his first performance and be able to play as well as he did. It really is a testament to how well he's worked in fall camp. He's a kid that showed up every day, doesn't talk. He just goes to work, and then all of a sudden, in game day, that same work ethic that he takes to practice every day shows up in the game. And I don't think, from a team standpoint, that surprises anybody. Solon's a kid that, we thought, had potential to be special a long time ago, and now he's getting the opportunity. So we'll continue to work and compete and try to play as many guys as we can.
I think it's a terrifying prospect. You already know that this team is going to have relatively fresh legs because of the work of Jeff Boschman and Ryan Henry in the strength and conditioning department. But when you can roll that many different guys out there, mercy, that's worrisome.
I'm going to go back to Jeff and Ryan. I think sometimes, when you look at the game, we talk about the players a lot, we talk about the coaches, but there's so many other people that's behind the scenes that you don't see as much. Jeff and Ryan probably spend, at points in time, spend more time with our kids than we do. And they've done a great job of working them and challenging them, to get guys to where, they're in shape, they can run fast, they believe in one another. And so, we really appreciate what they do here in the weight room.
Carson-Newman gets the job done over Virginia-Lynchburg. The final score, 35-3. We break down the second half when we come back after these messages on the Mike Clowney Show. All right, back on the Mike Clowney Show as Carson-Newman collects a resounding 35-3 win over the Virginia-Lynchburg Dragons. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, alongside the Eagles head man, Mike Clowney. Mike, a second half where kind of touched on the lull in that second quarter. Second half, come out, first 2 possessions, put points on the board. And defensively, good Lord. As good of a second half defensively as you could ask for. 24 yards of offense allowed. 3 and out punt, pick, 3 and out were Virginia-Lynchburg's 5 drives. Doesn't get much better than that second half. Put the game away in vintage Carson-Newman fashion. How happy were you with your team's execution after halftime?
I think that's the thing. Like with great football teams, is when you challenge them, they respond. I think that's the thing I'm most proud of. We had a situation there to where we did have a lull. We come in, we challenge them at halftime to try to prevent that from happening. They come back, get the ball, immediately respond to that situation. Really another long, methodical drive that we put together to really kind of reestablish control of the football game, get a score there, and then, like I say, defense continued to just play well, which put us in position to, even play a couple more guys at the end of the game.
Defensively, it's kind of the same as the offense. Really tough to hone in on one guy. Jake Cottle did some really nice things. Jordan Wilson. Pretty much anybody who played felt like that guy had 1 or 2 moments. Jet Jones gets his first career pick. Is there somebody that sticks out above the others defensively that you can point to?
Not really. Because you look at a couple of the guys up front, Jordan Wilson, a couple of those guys made plays. Chris Hicks made a couple plays at linebacker. Jacory Long, it shows up a little bit in that game. So like you say, the names just kind of, roll on and on. But that's something that speak to the coaches, that we're getting it done across the board overall there.
It's a type of game where, we have to nominate for SAC Defensive Player of the Week. Who do you choose from you say, hey, you held a team to 3 points, 75 yards. You'd think that you'd have somebody that deserves consideration for that award. Who on earth do you choose from that unit on that day? Really a very balanced, everybody contributed type game. Receiving corps, debut day for Bryce Bevins, debut day for Julius Cobbs, a couple of transfers. Receiving corps got the job done, I thought as well, especially in the second half with Meeks and Cobbs, your 2 biggest plays of the day on the 2 long passing touchdowns. What did you see from that group?
I think, those guys have really worked diligently. We had a lot of new guys. That's a place that, there are just a ton of new faces. I think Meeks is really the only guy that's playing that played significant snaps last year, when you hear, but then we had Braxton Westfield, so there are other guys that sit over there that didn't play. But, just to watch, them as a room continue to work and develop, like I say, with Bryce and Cobbs both coming in as transfers, we feel like they're guys that can be able to play significantly for us. Great throw to Cade for a touchdown there. Cobb catches he gets the reverse, and then he catches the touchdown over here in the corner. It's wild. Kid's been playing college football, I think, for 3-4 years now. He's graduated and scored his first college touchdown.
Quarterbacks, Zane Whitson got the start, performed admirably. Trey Luttrell has the insane quarterback rating, throws 1 pass, it goes for 43 yards, rushes the ball once for a first down. Got Mason Brang some run, got Jalen Myers some run. What stood out to you about that quartet?
I think Zane did a good job. Zane started the game, which we've kind of been in that, trying to figure out who that guy's going to be most of the summer. Zane gets the nod this week, and I thought he did a good job of taking advantage of that opportunity. We get Trey in, and he immediately makes a couple plays. So, he's not going to go away easy. He's a competitor. I wish we could have been able to see and get more plays with Trey, kind of give him a little bit more of an opportunity there. But the score kind of got where it was, and we felt like we, didn't want to take a chance there. And so we got a couple other guys in the game. Mason's been here for a while. He comes in and does a great job of leading the offense. One of the best kids in our program, just a total team guy. And then Myers was kind of a late arrival. So we wanted to be able to get him in the game and get him some snaps and just kind of get him moving around a little bit as well.
Carson-Newman picks up the win over VUL 35-3 on opening night. Here are those second half highlights.
Ferguson to the right of Whitson in the gun. Whitson gives Ferguson left side. Ferguson kicks it, bounces it. Ferguson stretching to the goal line. He's in. Touchdown, Carson-Newman.
Is kicking it to the wide side to make it work. Ball.
Brooks will give right side to Rimbert. There is nowhere to run and nowhere to hide for him. Carson-Newman stacks him up 2 yards in the backfield, back at the 26-yard line. Brooks out of the gun. 3-step drop, looks right, looking right, now to the left, escapes, he's hit, he's dragged down. Jake Cottle. 8 on the play clock, takes the snap. 3-step drop, settles, throws. Meeks has him in stride at the 20. Meeks racing over the numbers to the house. Touchdown! Carson-Newman. Trey Luttrell, a frozen route to Cade Meeks. Brooks takes, gives Walker right side, bottled up, stopped in the backfield. Ja'Cory Long there, Jake Cottle there. With trips to the right. Takes the snap, Eagles run a reverse to the left side for Julius Cobbs. Cobbs along the left sideline, from the wide side to the right. Play fake to Ferguson, Whitson back to pass, wants to launch to Cobbs along the left side, hauls it in at the 10, turns upfield, and sprints across the goal line for 6. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Well designed. It's 2nd and 10 for the Dragons. Brooks back to pass, shovels it over the middle of the field, sliding down, and picking it off is Carson-Newman. Major Williams jumps in front of it. Brooks in the gun, 4 wide, 2 each way. And off Walker, he is throttled in the backfield. Fortune Woods storms through, and that will do it. Thorough, comprehensive, complete Eagles defense. Absolutely incredible effort.
That is the end of the ball game.
And Carson-Newman prevails in fine fettle, 35-3 over Virginia-Lynchburg to start the season. Carson-Newman wins its season opener for a 33rd time in the last 43 years.
All right, those are the second half highlights from Carson-Newman's season opening 35-3 win over Virginia-Lynchburg. When we return, it's time for Talent Talks. Andrew Rogers walks the field when we get back after these messages on the Mike Clowney Show.
Tri-Light is proud to support Carson-Newman Athletics. We salute the student athletes who are working hard to make great things happen on the field, in the classroom, and in the world. It takes vision, commitment, and teamwork, qualities we share at Tri-Light. Our mission is to provide life-changing opportunities by building a world-class fiber broadband network. If you'd like to learn more, please visit trilight.net or call us at 833-847-0824. We love to cheer for our home teams, like the Eagles. It means more when we're rooting for the people we know. Did you know Tri-Light is your home team internet provider? We're right here in Jefferson City, serving the people we know with our ultra-fast, ultra-reliable fiber broadband network. And we'd love to serve you. Learn more at trilight.net or by calling 833-847-0824. Go Eagles!
All right, back on the Mike Clowney Show. We wrap things up with Talent Talk and batting leadoff and walking the field with Andrew Rogers. It's Max Bryant.
Welcome into another season of Talent Talk. Andrew Rogers here with Max Bryant. Max, let's get walking. Before you got to Carson-Newman, you got recruited. What was so appealing about Carson-Newman University that you wanted to play football here?
I'd have to say the most appealing thing was just the coaching staff and how much they praised, the Lord, and how much they emphasized God into everything they do, and not just going to church, but like even before practice, after practice. And it wasn't as much about football as much as it was about making us into better men when we leave here. So
you got here in 2021, redshirted, but then played last year. How did that redshirt year prepare you to make such an impact, and what was your first playing year?
I'd say just physically, it just helped me get bigger. I mean, I came in a lot smaller than I am now, and it showed up in practice in a lot of different areas that I was definitely not strong enough and big enough to play the position that I'm at. So that first year definitely helped me just in the weight room, on the field, just get bigger, stronger, faster.
After one full playing season of college football, what did you kind of tell yourself, or what was the most eye-opening thing about playing collegiate football?
Just the speed. I remember my first game when I got in against West Georgia. all the coaches always say the biggest difference from high school to college is the speed of the game, and you never really know until you get in. And that was the biggest tell. But I always just told myself, just, you know, you're going to get knocked down, just line up the next play and just keep going. They'll fix it on Monday.
Takes the shotgun snap. Dent steps up in the pocket. He's hit. The play is blown dead. It is a sack. Max Bryant, Nick Owens, Jaheim Wilson.
Let's change it up here a little bit, get to know you a little bit better.
Oh my gosh.
Any go-to song or artist before a game?
Definitely Drake for a game.
Good choice.
Any Drake.
Good choice. When you're out of season, is there a go-to meal? I gotta have this.
Go-to meal, just like any time out of season. I don't know. I'm a big Chick-fil-A guy, so Chick-fil-A or Zaxby's. I like chicken, so.
Good choice. Good choice. Any pregame rituals?
No, I'm not a big talker before games, so I like to just sit in my locker and just listen to music. I know me and Jordan Wilson, one of our nose guards, about when the kickers usually come out and start stretching, we always go down to the opposite end zone back there and go through a little warm-up, like stance and starts and some read drills. So I guess that's
Thank you very much, Andrew, Mike Clowney, Max
Focusing
Bryant,
back
guy that's
on
been in the program
the
for a
rest
couple
of your
years.
football career.
Very deep
what do
on
you
the
want to
defensive line,
accomplish
and he
as you kind
certainly
of continue
is
through?
a
You've had a
part
couple of playing seasons
of
left.
that
What do you hope
depth.
to
Made some
accomplish
plays
in
in
your time
week
here?
one. What have you seen from a guy that's gradually started to insert himself into the fray?
Well, I'm so proud
I'm pretty
of Max.
tough on
He's
myself.
kinda,
I hold myself
where
to
he
a high
started, we
standard.
always knew, like,
I've done
just
my
from a-
research,
just
and
outright
I know what it
standpoint, like,
takes,
he's an
and so now
all-out
it's really
effort
just
kid.
execution for me.
Just a great
When
program
people
guy, again,
ask who you
that guy
are,
that's been
what would you
here,
say your
that understands who we are, that
word
works hard
is, or
every
trait?
day,
What trait kind of
that
defines you?
comes
What
from
trait
a family
defines
that
Max
coaches in
Bryant?
it, and
I'd
it's
say
just-
technician.
It's just great to have those guys.
While
on
I
your
am,
team.
All right, you
I'd
turn
say
your
pretty strong
attention
and
now
a decent
to
size.
a bit of an
I feel
increase
like I
in
pride
difficulty.
myself on
Still playing
little things, and I feel like it definitely
non-Division
shows up
II opponents,
in practice.
but instead
So,
of playing down,
last
you play
year,
up. First FCS
3-game
vote
winning streak
that
to end the year.
Carson-Newman
How do
has
you guys
faced
hope, or how do you
since
hope this team
2007.
can
Head over to
kind
Johnson
of,
City to take
build
on
off
East
that
Tennessee State
and then continue that
on
into this year?
September
Finish
9th.
last year
What
with
do
a
you have
winning
to do to
I think we
improve
have a lot of good
upon
momentum,
this
and I
win
think
and get ready
the
for a
morale we
team where
have
the
right now is
difficulty level
high,
is going to be
and
a
I
little bit
think
greater?
carrying that into
I
this
think it's
season,
the same thing.
we've got
that's
some
what we
guys that
talked
we brought
about,
in, we've got guys
it
that are
doesn't
still
matter the
here
level that you play. You
to
play
keep
at your
that
highest
going,
level
and
all
so
the time.
I think
And I think
we're
that's
pretty
the thing
excited
for
to
us
play.
is challenging
Get
the
going.
guys.
Thanks
to,
for the time, Max.
you know,
Best
it
of luck
doesn't
this year.
matter,
Yes, sir.
like,
That's
you
Max
know, what
Bryant.
level
I'm
that
Andrew Rogers
we
on this
play at
episode of
week
Talent
or
Talk.
We play at next week. You know, what's the highest level that we can play at every single day that we show up? And, you know, that's the biggest thing I want to challenge our guys to do. Let's show up over there, play best we can play, and see how it goes.
All right, Mike Clowney, pleasure as always. Congrats on a season opening win over the Virginia-Lynchburg Dragons.
Thank you, Al.
That's Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Clowney. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier. This has been the Mike Clowney Show. Thanks for watching.